boys and girls. How are you? I've missed you. I missed doing videos over the weekend and texting with your moms and dads. I hope that you had a fun weekend. The weather has been getting warmer, right? I've been trying to spend a little bit of time outside every day to get some fresh air and get some sunlight. And I hope you are too. If you have a backyard, I hope you're playing in it. No parks right now. I know that's kind of stinks. But you can maybe go for a walk with your family, or even if you have a balcony, even just to sit outside and look at a book on your balcony. It's nice to get some fresh air sometimes. So now that it's spring, and especially around this time, I like to talk about eggs, because we sometimes see at this time of year animals that lay eggs, like ducks and birds. And if you celebrate Easter, you might color Easter eggs or go on an egg hunt. And so I think it's a fun time that we can talk about eggs. So before we start though, I want to tell you that there's a difference between the eggs that animals come out of and the eggs we eat for breakfast. There's a difference, so I don't want you to be nervous about that, okay? So today we're going to talk about the eggs that animals come out of. But did you know that not only birds and ducks lay eggs? Did you know that? I wonder who else lays eggs. When we have questions like that, we can do something called research. And when we're grown-ups, we can do that on a computer or on our phones. But before we learn how to read and type, we can use something like an Alexa. So should we ask her? Let's ask her. Alexa, what animals lay eggs?
Here's what I found on reference.com. Animals that lay eggs are known as oviparous animals and include fish, birds, reptiles, and insects.
Thanks, Alexa. So they said fish, birds, reptiles, and insects. Fish lay eggs. Oh my goodness. And reptiles? Reptiles would be like snakes and lizards. I think even alligators lay eggs. Did you know that? How neat is that? So today we're gonna read a book that is it's so funny. It's called Duck and Goose, and here they are sitting on a big egg. I've never seen an egg that's polka dot like that, so I wonder what's inside of that. Maybe it's a snake, or maybe it's a fish. I don't know. Let's see. So this is Duck and Goose, and the person who wrote the words and drew the pictures, their name is Tad Hills. So he's the author and the illustrator. Duck and Goose. Oh my, what is that? Duck quacked. That's a silly question, Goose honked. It's a big egg, of course. Of course it's an egg, I know that, huffed Duck. What I mean is, where did it come from? Goose looked skyward. That means up. He looked to the river. He looked to the fields. He thought very hard. Who are you? He said finally. I, said Duck, puffing out his feathered chest, am the one whose egg this is. I saw it first. Goose quickly raised one webbed foot. It's mine. I touched it first. Hey, you should never put your dirty foot on an egg, Duck scolded. Don't you know anything about caring for eggs? Yes, I do, Goose cried out. Stop yelling, Duck yelled, and then he whispered forcefully. Don't you know that you and your screaming are very likely disturbing the baby bird who's trying to take a snooze inside that egg? Goose wished that Duck wasn't right, but he was. So he lowered his head and he whispered softly, I'm very sorry. Go back to sleep in there. My, that's quite a beauty you have there, called a bluebird from across the river. Thank you, it's mine, quacked Duck. Actually, it's mine, honked Goose. Thank you. So, asked Duck, what should we do now? We should do something, suggested Goose. Yes, you're right. Good thinking, agreed Duck. Like what? Duck and Goose each thought. So Duck is thinking that he's going to have the egg all by himself, and he's going to build a fence with some signs that say things like, this is Duck's egg, no geese allowed. And Goose is thinking that he's also going to have the egg all to himself, and that he's going to build a fence and put up some signs that say, no ducks allowed. If you're a duck, keep walking. So it looks like they don't really want to share it. They just want to do things by themselves. Well, we must keep the egg warm until the fuzzy little occupant is ready to come out, said Goose. Excellent idea, exclaimed Duck. He pushed past Goose. Step aside and I shall do just that. But Goose was quick too, so they want to keep the egg nice and warm until he's ready to come out. After a flurry of fussing and grunting and groaning, slipping and sliding, honking and quacking, Duck and Goose found themselves back to back. Scoot over, I don't have any room, complained Duck. You're much closer to me than I am to you. Stop yelling in my ear, Goose. Shh, Goose hushed, pointing at the round thing beneath them. Yes, we must remember. Quiet, quiet. We mustn't disturb the little one. And so they sat very still and very quiet, waiting. For a long time they waited. So what are they waiting for? Are they waiting for nighttime? They're waiting for the bird to come out, right? Do you think it's really going to be a bird in there? Remember we said, Alexa told us that fish and bugs and reptiles also can come out of eggs. So I wonder what will be in there. Let's see. They listened to the crickets chirp and the frogs burp. I'm going to teach this baby bird to quack like a duck. Well, I'm going to teach it to honk like a goose, Goose honked back. I'm going to teach this baby bird to waddle, Goose added. So am I, Duck said. They heard the pitter-patter of the rain. I'm going to teach this baby bird to swim, Duck said. Me too, said Goose. To pass the time, they sniffed wildflowers in the warm sun and shared breadcrumbs while Goose taught Duck to honk. They watched the sunset in the sky, and Duck taught Goose to quack. So over on the last page, or 2 pages ago, they were really fighting over this egg. And that's sad because we don't have to fight over one thing, right? What's something that Miss T teaches us we can do? Take turns or share, right? So it looks like they're figuring that out, right? They're talking about the things that they can each do when the bird comes out. They counted the stars in the night sky. Let's teach our baby bird to fly, said Goose. Good idea, said Duck. I'm sure our baby will be a fast learner. If it takes after you and me, I'm sure you're right, said Goose. So now it's nighttime. They've waited all day, and here they are sitting on top of the egg. Together they waited until... Did you feel that, Duck? Duck nodded. Yes, did you feel that, Goose? Goose nodded. It's time, Goose, it's time! Duck squawked. It's time for what, guys? What are they getting so excited for? What is it time for? You think it's hatching? We're going to find out what's inside? I can't wait. Quickly, Duck slid down and started running in circles around the egg. What do we do now? I think we should remain calm, Goose yelled back. Excuse me, a little voice called out. Duck stopped In all the exciting confusion, he had failed to notice the bluebird from before kicking their egg. Uh-oh. Look at their eyebrows. They're like this. How do you think they're feeling that somebody's kicking their egg? Not happy, right? Can I play too? She said. Play? This is no time for play, yelled Duck. This is no time for games, yelled Goose. And what's with the kicking? Oh, I was only trying to get your attention, said the little bird. Well, you got it, Duck huffed. False alarm, Goose. Back to work. Can't you see that we're very busy here? Goose explained to the bluebird. This is serious business. This is perhaps the most important event in our lives. Oh, I'm sorry, apologized the bluebird. I had no idea. I just thought that maybe I could play with your ball. It's a really nice one, she added, and then she flew away. Wait, what did she say? She wants to play with the what? She said it's a what? A ball? This is so embarrassing. I thought it was an egg. Did you think it was an egg? Goose gulped. Did she say ball? He whispered to Duck. You know, I did have my doubts, Duck finally said. It is a bit squishier than most eggs I've seen. Yes, and I must say I was somewhat suspicious of those big dots, Goose admitted. It may not be an egg, but it's still lovely, said Duck. Oh, absolutely, Duck, Goose agreed. It's a keeper. As the crickets chirped, the frogs burped, and the grass swayed in a gentle breeze, Goose quacked, and Duck honked, and the ball bounced, rolled, and sometimes even flew, just like they were going to teach their baby bird. So they didn't get any animal out of the egg, but they did become really good friends, right? And that's a really good thing to have in life, as a good friend. So I hope you liked this book. I have a song called 5 Little Ducks in a big book that I'm going to do if one of your family members can bring you over to circle time activities. I'm going to do it there, okay? And I hope you'll come and sing with me. See you later.